this one where you were black. Yes, you were black. So another e4, e5 opening, e4, e5. This guy was rated 7-10, by the way.
Yeah.
Knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5, all good. d3 and knight f6, knight c3, both white and black developed. This could be, so far, could be a grandmaster game. d6, castling, bishop g4, so it's nice to pin that knight. And after h3, we keep the knight pinned. And he doesn't like that pin, so he plays queen e1. Okay.
Yeah.
Queen d7 and bishop e3. So, yeah, you took on e3, which makes sense, but there is a little tactic here. With your move queen d7, you bring a tactic in the position. It's not very easy. Let's see if you can spot it now in this session.
What was it? Queen eats e7, did you say?
You played queen d7. This was your last move. And then he played bishop e3, this move.
Yes. So, is there a tactic?
There's a removing the defender tactic which wins you a pawn.
I don't even know it. So, removing a pawn. So, to remove the defender, I need to see the piece I'm attacking first. So that is right. So, would we go for bishop h5 takes f2?
f3, yeah. And then he has to recapture.
Yes. And then I take queen on h3.
Exactly. And you've won not only a pawn, but also your queen is very close to his king. His protection is shattered. So, very nice position for black.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was possible. And if he takes on c5, it's just protected. You just recapture.
And that was the position that I got when that guy resigned when I showed you, when I took the screenshot.
Yes, exactly. Well, we get there. It is this game that you sent me. Yeah. So here it's not checkmate because you have given up your light squared bishop, but you get a pawn, and this knight is going to jump in there, attacking that guy, and very, very good position for black, and a pawn up. So okay, so there was a little tactic there. Bishop takes f3. Instead, you took on e3. He took with the queen, and you castled queenside. Yeah, you told me, I think, yesterday that you like to queenside castling is something you like.
Yeah. I just like the fact that the rook can come. He's more closer to the center. I quite like that. I'm just putting like. There we go. Just put my finger on charge there. Yeah, I just quite like the fact that it comes quite center. I think I saw a game of a grandmaster, and the way the rook came and it was attacking straight away, like two pieces in one, was brilliant. And I don't know, I thought I'd experiment with it really.
Of course, great. No, great that you do that, and it's a fine move. Castling kingside would also have been fine, but castling queenside is fine. And it's nice that what you say there is, you see that I always talk about the 4 ways to improve at chess: study tactics, study endgames, study the classics from the past and the present, and analyze your own games. Well, you just said you saw something in a grandmaster game which you liked, and then you copied it in your own game. So that's where those things come together. Very nice. Kingside castling. He played queen e2. And I don't know what that move is about. And you played knight a5. And I see a better square for that knight. If you want to play this knight, what's a better square than a5?
d4.
D or b4? What did you say?
d4.
d4, exactly. Knight d4. Attacking the queen.
But you know what? I always find that the knight on f3 takes it straight away.
Okay.
And it's like, I'd like to have...
What happens then?
The knight. Yeah, and he takes. And then I take back, of course. But...
You have something better. You're not going to take back immediately. Scan the position. Checks, captures, attacks.
Oh, yeah. I can take the pin. I can take his queen.
Exactly. The knight was pinned, and that makes knight d4 such a strong move. Yeah.
I just want to get a position where, when I haven't got this pin and I have a knight in the center. One of the best move exercises. You said, what shall I take? And I got it wrong, and he says the knight, because when it's there, it attacks so many things. I like my knight to stay there a little bit.
Yeah.
I know sometimes it just gets. I know I've won the queen in this position, but other than the pin, when the queen isn't up for grabs,
Yeah.
when the knight's in the center, it just gets taken, and it's a swap where I don't know. I'd like to put. I'm not saying it. I'll do exactly what you say, but I like the knight to be on. You know, I like to. You know what I mean? I like it to be there instead of just leading.
No, I get that, and I agree with you. By the way, the problem with the knight d4 is if it can be swapped straight away, that could be a pity. I'm not saying it's bad, or that you have to judge it. But in this case, it cannot be taken because the knight is pinned. So now you're attacking the queen. I mean, his last move after your castling queenside, he played queen e2. It's a self pin, we call that. He voluntarily stands in the pin.
Yeah,
it's a very weird move. And then knight d4. Yeah, you just jump on him, attacking the queen. It cannot be taken by the knight, and suddenly he cannot really play queen e3 here. Why not?
Why can't he play queen e3 there?
Checks Capius attacks.
So why can't he play that? Can I just take the knight on f3 straight away?
You can, with the knight or with the bishop.
I'd take it with the knight.
The knight, yeah.
We check.
We check. So he has to recapture probably.
The pawn.
The pawn.
And then we're open. And then I take the queen f3, h3.
Exactly. And yeah, it's similar to what we had before. But here you still have your light squared bishop, which is really nice. Yeah, that's possible. That's very good. I was also looking at another capture here. So bishop takes f3. Sorry, knight takes f3 check looks really good. I was looking at another capture.
Okay. Can I take the pawn on c2?
Yep, you can indeed. And that forks 2 pieces.
Yeah.
So there's something to look at. Yeah.
A lot of players at 600. I'm saying this like I'm a grandmaster, but I've noticed a lot of players, their rooks are just at home.
Yes. The rooks are always developed last. First, you have the knights and the bishops, and then the king castles, and then the rooks are coming then mostly to the center.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are developed later than the other pieces.
Yeah, like even in the middle game and the end game, they don't been that like a lot of the pieces, even not even just rook. Sometimes the knight is still on, it's square when it started. So
okay.
I've noticed that.
Well, of course, there are lines where that happens. There are games where it happens, but also grandmasters need to develop their pieces. They might have a specific reason why they keep a piece at home a bit longer. But in general, you see grandmasters also developing their pieces. So it's if you saw it, be great if you could share that game with me if you see it happening. But it's not something I would recommend. I would recommend you to do what you're doing, get all your stuff into the game.
These are 600s, by the way, not a grandmaster, like 600s. Just leave their stuff at home.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said grandmasters.
No.
Okay. No. Yeah. Sorry, I misunderstood you. Yeah. You're right. I think the next game we see a player who doesn't develop, and that's what they do a lot. But this game and the game before, they did develop, which was good. But yeah, lots of your level players don't do that, and that's we'll see it in the next game. Yeah, and I have just to point out, this looks great for black because you have a fork on king and queen, but white has a bit of a dangerous counter attack with queen takes a7, and suddenly he threatens checkmate. So that was, and that's a bit of a drawback sometimes of castling queenside. So what you see a lot when people, that's one to remember, when players castle queenside, they very often play king b8 at a moment that they have time to do that, just to make sure that the a pawn is not hanging in by bishops or queens. So that's one to remember. King b8 is often a very useful little move to make if you castle queenside. Okay, good analysis. So you played knight a5, and knight d4 was a good good move, a better move. He plays bishop d5, and you took. He recaptured with a knight, and you played knight c6, and that's what I like as well. It's psychologically, it's not great. It's not easy to take back a bad move, because you feel you have to justify your moves, and taking it back really admits to yourself and your opponent that you were wrong. But you seemed here you just did it, and that's a good move. The knight was not doing anything on a5, so you bring it back to the center. So I like this move a lot. He plays the knight back to c3. And now you went to d4. And it's still very good, still very strong. He saves his queen, and now you win material. Knight takes f3 check, g takes, and bishop takes. And the game is over in a few moves, because he went queen e3, attacking your bishop, but he had missed this one, and this was a screenshot you sent me.
Yeah.
And now he either has to give up his queen by taking on f3, or this checkmate on the next move.
Yeah.
There's one subtlety. So in this position, when you took on f3 with check, g takes, and bishop takes, he still has a way to fight on and not be checkmated. What is the move that white can make here to keep your queen out?
To keep my queen out.
Because queen takes a3 is a threat with checkmate to follow. So what can you do to make sure that that move doesn't land on your doorstep?
Well, so how can I defend? How can white defend h3?
Yes.
He can play the queen to. Where could he play the? Is it a queen move?
No.
Is it knight to e2?
Does that defend h3?
No, I'm clutching at straws here. I'll be honest.
Well, scan your pieces. There's only one piece that can defend h3.
The king.
Yes. King h2, and white is still alive. You know, it's not so easy now to get your queen in. So that's a typical move, by the way. It happens a lot. You know that okay, the king is exposed, but still it's on a dark square now, and not so easy to get checkmate. You know, you might want to play something like this, but by the time you do that, white puts a rook there, so to challenge the g file. So it's not over yet. There's still this is still a game after king h2. But he missed that. He played queen e3, and now the queen comes in, and the queen obviously is such a strong piece, and he resigned here because he has to give up his queen for the bishop, otherwise his mate.
Yeah.
So 17 moves. That's we talked a lot about eating these 700 players for breakfast. Well, this guy was eaten for breakfast.
Yeah, brilliant.
It was a very, very good game. Yeah, that's how quickly things can go.
Yeah.
So, anything else on this game?
No.
It was a very, very good game, Aran. Very good game. You know, I know we've started working together exactly a year ago.
Yeah.
You didn't play like this a year ago.
Yeah.
No way.
Thank you.
Fantastic.